Now, working with the final section, the horseshoe section, I'm actually going to cut, lifting the hair at 90 degrees, but I'm going to cut the last of our concave sections, which will give us the remainder of the haircut. So I take my first section across the center of the head and then split this in two. Lifting up, now bear in mind that this will form our length to the front. I lift out through my fingers and angle my fingers away from the head shape. The length from the hairline to the back of my hands determines the length that will fall to the front of the face. So again, as a way of checking this, you can measure down, come to the side, and I always want this to fall to around the cheekbone. So then, having that in mind, I can lift out, lift up through my fingers and cut my first section from shorter to longer. Again, just making sure that the angle is acute enough to go from shorter to longer. I then switch sections, picking up the back of the hair and lift this out through my fingers, again picking up the shortest point, and this time I reverse it the other way. So this is the second part of the concave shape. Again, lift that across my hand, angling the tips of my fingers out. I work from longer this time back in to shorter, so that the shortest point of the section is in the middle of the head, and if I lift that up, there you can clearly see the concave shape. I over direct all the hair onto this line. So I stand here and I over direct the hair, putting this upwards and onto that line, cutting again from shorter to longer, front and back, and then I reverse, standing on the other side, but always putting the hair towards me so that the guideline is clearly visible. And actually, if we just have a little look there, you can see the layers very clearly through. Now, I'll just start to brush the hair around the head and just have a look at what we've created. This is the point when you can choose which side you're going to dress the hair to and how the whole thing is going to work. You can look at, obviously, depending on where you part the hair will change the amount of volume that you get, but you can already see very clearly how beautifully this works around the face, giving a huge amount of definition yet maintaining length. So we get the break points across the cheekbone, the layers right the way through, and coming out and down into a very simple, almost softened bob shape. Now you can do a little personalisation at this point just to check in, remembering that we've got the disconnections all the way through. So at this point, then I can just choose to literally lift the hair out, lift through my fingers, lift up, and possibly just soften just a little, working on the ends of the hair, because the disconnections are there very, very clearly, and literally just breaking in. So to finish this now, I'm just going to use a little SOS leave-in conditioner, which will just give me a really silky finish, and I'm going to run the dry through, just dry off using a Denman brush, a little bit more personalisation for the finished look. Now I'm just going to use a little spritz of shine spray throughout. Now this is completely non-greasy, and even on blonde hair it really makes the really makes the hair shine. Now I just put that little bit through, and I'm just going to go through and do the final checking, so you can see how the layers work so well. Now I can just lift out, and I'll just start really just blending using the points of the scissors, breaking up any little corners that I see through just in the shape. And as that comes across, then just to really personalise, just work in and just point that away so that the shape becomes just a little bit more defined in the way that it falls. You can see that those layers there really work well through the shape, giving us a great definition, just pulling back on the cheekbone and showing off the jawline. And again, we can just do the same here. Comb down, and I'm just going to use, first of all, pull the hair backwards and just break down that outside, that front line just a little bit more. So that really just drops forwards, and then use the point of the scissors just to come up very, very steeply. Again now, this is the finishing touches that really just put the definition into the shape. Just comb all those bits away. Just pull the shape down. And again, just come in there. Just pointing and lifting through, so we can just go through, and I can lift these sections out and just pointing and blending so the shape becomes really well defined and quite fine. Now this haircut is equally brilliant. If you want to go for a shape with tons of texture, then you'll find included in the promotion that you'll see that there's sea salt spray in there, so you can really just build on the texture that you want right the way through it. So it's a real fabulous twin pack of sea salt spray and the shine spray for both of the shapes. So there we go. There's the finished look. What do you think?
I love it. Absolutely love it. It's beautiful, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so there we have the finished thing. Give it a shake, run your hands through it. Let's have a look. I think it goes good with your ACD shirt, t-shirt.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Thank you very much.
That's okay.
And I love the color as well.
It's nice, isn't it? It's a little bit warmer, perhaps, but this is a shape that works great with a warm blonde and a kohl. And it just divides the face great. Fabulous.